Hello and welcome to another episode here at the free review for our agriculturist slash insurer examination. And in this video, we will talk about translocation and assimilation. So for the past three videos, we've been talking about photosynthesis, respiration, and transpiration. Ngayon naman, pupunta tayo sa translocation and assimilation. But before that, let's just have this quick pre-test. What does assimilation in plants refer to? A. The uptake of water and minerals by roots. B. The conversion of carbon dioxide into sugars during photosynthesis. C. Incorporation of absorbed nutrients into plant tissues for growth and development. Or letter D. The evaporation of water from the plant surface. So I hope that you already have your answer for this. Before we end this video, we will answer this question. So let us start by defining what translocation is. So translocation in plants refers to the movement of sugars, water, and other organic nutrients through the vascular system from sources, which are usually leaves, to sinks, such as growing tissues, roots, and storage organs. Okay, another definition is this process is essential for distributing resources within the plant and supporting various metabolic activities. In agriculture, understanding translocation is crucial for optimizing crop growth and development and yield. So, basically, kapag sinabi nating translocation, kumbaga parang allocation siya ng resources dun sa plant. Okay, ngayon, kapag meron na tayong mga, say for example, sugars na nasa isang lugar, paano naman siya ililipat sa ibang lugar para sila naman yung lumaki? So parang isipin na lang natin siya, kunwari nag-grocery ka, tapos bumili ka ng sabon, bumili ka ng unan, bumili ka ng mga delata. So yung mga resources na nandoon, saan siya dapat pupunta? So that's the process of translocation. Na kapag kunwari, itong mineral na to merong ganitong nangyari. O sige, kailangan ba to ng ganitong leaf? Kailangan ba siya ng apical meristem? Kailangan ba siya ng roots? So, ayan. So, ayun ang like laymanized term ng translocation or illustration of translocation. So let's look at the process of translocation. So una, we have the source-sink relationship. So leaves are typically the primary sources where photosynthesis occurs. Again, if you will look back, the process of photosynthesis, it uses carbon dioxide and water and to produce yung ating carbohydrates and oxygen. Ayun. So dito, dahil nasa leaves na po-produce yung sugars natin, doon yung source, kumbaga. Ngayon nakapag-produce na yung leaves natin na ang maraming sugar, kailangan nila ng energy. Tapos, yung energy na yun ay yung gagamitin ng ating mga phloem para i-transport yung sugars na na-produce mula sa dahon natin papunta sa different parts of the plant. Ayun. So, that is called the source-sink relationship. Then, ayan, loading and transport. So, sugar molecules produced in the leaves are actively transported into phloem cells. So, this process requires energy and is facilitated by specialized transport protein. So, again, kailangan ulit yung ATP natin from respiration. So, once loaded, kumbaga, sige, sabi natin para siyang truck. Once loaded, sugars move through the phloem in a process called translocation. So ito na, pag nailagay na yung mga items, sugar molecules natin doon, yung truck, mag-move na siya to different parts of the plant. Ayun. So next is unloading. So kung ayun yung source natin, yung mga dahon, yung mga sink tissues naman, such as roots, developing fruits, seeds, and storage organs, sugars are actively unloaded from the phloem into the cells for immediate use or storage. So, kumbaga, yung truck kanina, yung mga sakay niyang mga sugars, ina-unload naman siya papunta doon sa ano, kung saan doon siya kailangan. Ayun. So, this supports growth, respiration, and the synthesis of various compounds needed for plant function and development. So here are some of the factors affecting translocation. First, the source strength. So the rate of photosynthesis in the leaves determines the amount of sugars available for translocation. So again, kaya connected itong mga processes na to. Una, photosynthesis kasi sila yung nagpo-produce ng sugars. Then yung uh, respiration kasi kailangan ng energy ng lahat ng process na 'to, eh, ang respiration nagpo-produce siya ng energy. Ngayon itong translocation naman, kapag mas marami kang sugars na na-produce sa iyong photosynthesis, mas marami kang puwedeng i-translocate to different parts of the plant. So factors such as light intensity, temperature, leaf age that influences photosynthetic rates also affect translocation. Ayun siya. So kumbaga kung wala kang na-produce na produkto, wala kang ita-transport, gano'n siya. So, kailangan optimum yung photosynthesis mo for you to have an optimum din na translocation at para magtuloy-tuloy yung growth and development ng plant mo. Next, the sink demand naman. So growing tissues, developing fruits, and storage organs exert sink demand. Pag sinabing sink demand, ito lang yung gaano ka kailangan noong sink, o tulad ng fruits natin, yung sugars na yon. So kapag napapansin natin, kunwari, lumalaki yung fruits natin, mas mataas yung sink demand nila kasi kailangan na ma-fill na yung fruits ng carbohydrates. It will influence the rate and the direction of translocation. So high sink strength enhances the efficiency for translocation to support growth and development. So this happens, let's say for example, kapag flowering na, tapos kapag fruiting stages na, ayan, katulad ng mga storage organs, then development ng mga yon. So dun mas tumataas yung demand for carbohydrates ng mga parts na yon. So it also affects yung efficiency ng translocation. And of course, environmental factors such as temperature, water availability, and nutrient levels impact the efficiency of translocation. So stress conditions such as drought or nutrient deficiencies can reduce translocation rates and affect overall plant health and productivity. So let's say for example, kapag kasi nagkakaroon ng drought, so syempre walang water, di ba? Eh, again, yung water, kailangan siya for the production of photosynthetates o yung mga sugars natin. And yung water din, sila rin yung nagta-transport ng nutrient to different organs. Yung tulad ng discuss natin sa transpiration na from root absorption, sila nagta-travel to different parts of the plant, yung water. So kapag wala yun, may hirapan din yung plant na exert ng effort or mag-translocate ng mga assimilates natin. Again, assimilates, sugars din yan, carbohydrates, gano'n. So translocation in agriculture. So translocation ensures the efficient distribution of assimilates, mainly sugars, throughout the plant, supporting growth in areas that may have limited or no photosynthetic ability. Ayun. So, ayun din pala yung isa sa mga reason. Kasi 'di ba, yung photosynthesis, siya yung nagpo-produce ng sugars. So, pinupunta nila yung mga sugars na na-produce sa leaves papunta sa mga lugar kung saan hindi nagfo-photosynthesize. Katulad nga nung root tips, ayun din, kaya lumalaki din yung roots natin, ayan. Or, yung sa mga fruits, flowers, ganyan. Yan, storage and resilience. Sugars transported and stored in roots, tubers, seeds, and fruits serve as energy reserves during periods of low photosynthetic activity. So for example, winter or yung drought. So enabling plants to survive and resume growth when conditions improve. So this is true in the case of biennial plants. Yung mga biennial plants natin, katulad ng carrots, onion, yung mga yan, meron silang like dormancy stage. So meron vegetative phase growth 1, tapos may dormancy stage, then may vegetative growth 2. So ayun. During those time of winter, ganyan, dun kung saan na-store yung mga sugars, ayun yung kumbaga parang storage nila just to survive dun sa portion na yon ng growth nila. Translocation influences plant growth and development by allocating resources to where they are most needed, such as actively growing tissues, thereby optimizing overall plant productivity. So, ayan, katulad ng apical meristem or yung sa root meristem natin, ayan, sa meristem kasi doon yung merong active na cell division. Ayun. So kapag translocation, siya yung nag-allocate. Through the process of translocation, na-allocate yung resources where they are most needed, where carbohydrates are most needed. Efficient translocation is crucial for the development and maturation of reproductive organs such as flowers, fruits, and seeds, ensuring optimal seed set, fruit quality, and yield. Katulad na sinasabi ko rin kanina, na kapag nasa stages na ng reproductive phase, ayun, so mas mataas na yung demand nila for sugars. Now let's go to assimilation. So assimilation in plants refers to the process by which plants incorporate nutrients from the environment into their tissues, converting them into organic compounds that are essential for growth, development, and reproduction. So now, ito naman ay kung yung translocation is from plant, so these are products, yung carbohydrates that are produced by the plant itself. Assimilation naman is with the interaction of humans. So dito na papasok din yung usage of fertilizers, even yung nasa paligid lang mismo, yung from the environment, so dito na siya papasok. So first, we have carbon assimilation. In photosynthesis, plant use light energy to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen. So this process occurs primarily in the chloroplast, especially in the leaves, provides the primary source of carbon and energy for plant growth. So again, ayun yung isa sa assimilation na yung plants natin kaya niyang kumuha ng carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. Next is nitrogen assimilation. So meron tayong nitrate and ammonium uptake. So plants absorb nitrogen primarily in the form of nitrate, NO3, and ammonium, NH4, ions from the soil through their roots. Nitrogen fixation, certain leguminous plants have symbiotic relationships with nitrogen-fixing bacteria, such as rhizobium, which convert atmospheric nitrogen N2 into ammonia N3 that the plant can use. So kung itong nitrate and ammonium uptake is from yung roots yung nag-absorb from the soil, ito naman with the help of bacteria. So here are some of the factors affecting assimilation. First is light. Photosynthesis and carbon assimilation are influenced by light intensity, so duration and quality wavelength. So the way that the effect of light affects photosynthesis, ganun din siya dito. Ayan. So next, temperature. Optimal temperature ranges vary for different biochemical processes involved in the nutrient assimilation. Water availability naman, adequate soil moisture is necessary for nutrient uptake and enzymatic reactions involved in assimilation. Ayun. So, again, yung water kasi parang siya mas nagpapadali para mag-transport yung ating mga assimilates. pH and soil chemistry. So, soil pH affects nutrient availability and uptake by plants. Acidic or alkaline soils can limit the assimilation of certain nutrients. Nutrient availability, soil nutrient levels impact nutrient uptake and subsequent assimilation by plants. Genetic and physiological factors, so plant species and varieties. So different plants have varying capacities for nutrient assimilation based on genetic traits and adaptations. So this can be attributed then dun sa kanilang structure ng roots, or structure ng leaves, yung mga ganun. So, physiological state, growth stage, health status, and metabolic activity of the plant influence nutrient assimilation rates. So, kapag hindi well-functioning yung, for example, yung leaf, mas mahirapan sila na makapag-assimilate ng carbon. Assimilation in agriculture. So this is important in plant growth and development. Assimilated nutrients are used for synthesizing proteins, enzymes, chlorophyll, nucleic acids, and other organic molecules essential for plant structure and function. Optimal assimilation of nutrients directly impacts crop yield, quality attributes, taste, and nutritional content, color, and marketability of agricultural products. So efficient nutrient assimilation reduces nutrient runoff and leaching, minimizing environmental impacts such as water pollution and soil degradation. Ayan. So, dahil ginagamit nga ng halaman yung mga nutrients na nasa soil, na-minimize yung nutrient runoff. Well-assimilated nutrients contribute to plant resilience against biotic stress and pest diseases and abiotic stresses uh, like drought and salinity. Ayan, may mga specific na nutrients na kailangan for this. Say for example, sa mga stresses, in terms of immunity, mahalaga na merong potassium yung ating mga plant. Okay, so to answer the question kanina at the start of this episode, what does assimilation in plants refer to? So it refers to the incorporation of absorbed nutrients into plant tissues for growth and development. So assimilation refers to the process by which plants use absorbed nutrients such as nitrates and other minerals to build and maintain their cells and tissue. Okay, so I think that's it for this episode. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned something from this series ng physiological processes, yung photosynthesis, respiration, transpiration, and translocation. If you have any questions, just drop them below, and I will try my best to answer them, even that's technical or what. Or if you have any more like suggestions the topics when it comes to the licensure examination for agriculturist. Ayan. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Bye. See you in the next episode.